Welcome to this late morning taste challenge. We have from 1899, not 1899, during the reign of Queen Victoria. Dewar is label, no age statement, produced under a royal warrant by John Dewar and Sons, owned by Bacardi International, this modern day and age. Check this off for Friday. This is for Friday. Could do it tomorrow, but I'm not going to. Would be cutting the grass right now, but I'm waiting for the trash men to come. All right, imported rare Justerini Brooks J&B, introduced around 1934. Don't have a specific date, but it says at the end of Prohibition, so circa 1934. Justerini Brooks, distilled, blended, and bottled in Scotland, established 1749. Well, wait a minute. 1749. Where's the what's the disparity? Okay, Justerini Brooks is traced back to 1749 in the Kingdom of Great Britain, England, London, England. That's a wine merchant company. Okay, so J&B, Justerini Brooks, if you look at their main website, they are wine merchants. All right, they procure wines from around the world and sell them to retailers, even distributors. In 1934, they had been dealing in Scotch too for a long time. So in 1934, they contracted with someone to develop their own blended Scotch brand. Okay, it became one of the big brands around the world, J&B. Okay, so J&B is not made by J&B. Okay, there's no Justerini Brooks J&B distillery. It's made for them. Whereas Dewar's owns like 4 or 5, I can't remember, 4 or 5 different distilleries are around Scotland. I'm about to post some photos on Alcohol Eggs in a coming week about another one of their distilleries. Okay, so this was a Scotch company from the get-go, and the white label was introduced. Now they go back to 1846, but their white label, their mainline brand, came out 1899, 53 years later. So J&B is big. It says, by appointment to their late majesties, King George III. Oh, and it's also brewed, distilled under a royal warrant. They show the color version of the royal warrant. So these are both official Scotch whiskeys to the royal family. Now, whether they're actually drinking it, that's a different story, but it's, on paper, at least a royal Scotch. So it's got the notch in the back so you can put it on the rack and it won't swivel back and forth. It won't whip its hair back and forth, whip its hair back and forth. All right, so that's mackerel baits. Mackerel, hello. So this has got the notch. All right, and it was in the movie Scarface, 1983, the remake. What was the 50th anniversary of the original Scarface, 1933? But anyway, and I remember Tony Montana said, "You like Scotch? I like Scotch." And he's got J&B. If you watch it, he's like, J&B, no product placement here. Yeah, sure. All right. I asked my friend Paul, who's an attorney, I said, you think they put that J&B in that movie just by some coincidence? He said, no way on earth. They paid for that. He said they don't ever have products in there if it's not paid. All right. By appointment to their late majesties, King George III. Like I said, this was a wine procurer for these monarchs. King George III, King George IV, King William IV, Queen Victoria, King Edward VII, King George V, King George VI, and to His late Royal Highness, the Prince of Wales, who they don't list as King Edward VIII because he was let's say, excused from office after less than a year. All right, anyway, excused from his reign, but that's another story. Even kings get fired, but I guess better to be excused than to kill yourself. Yeah, than to be, guillotined like the King Louis the 16th, the great King Louis the 16th. Okay, anyway, of the House of Bourbon. Or the King of Greece, who's still alive today, but who was forced off the throne in 1974. Really, he fled the country in 67 during a revolution by the military, and then he officially abdicated in 1974. So now Greece is a republic. They have a president. Is it a better government? Is it a better government? Well, it's more corrupt. I don't know if it's a better government. It's more inefficient. Anyway, all right. I don't care. I'm not Greek. Oh, if you're ever around a bunch of Greek people and they're having a dinner party and drinking ouzo and whatnot, I would not bring up the King of Greece unless you want to start a major controversy and ruin the party, because it will not go well. And it probably won't turn out so well for you. All right, anyway, best to just talk about olives, how to cook stuffed olives, pastries, whatever. I wouldn't bring up the King of Greece around Greek people. And don't bring up the subject of Cyprus Island either. That would be a real bad decision. All right, here is a gold Dewar's, very gold. You say it looks like corn. Yeah, well, it's mostly corn liquor, and it tastes like it's corn liquor. It's not bad. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and talk about how bad Dewar's is. It's not bad. But it's certainly not anything I'd be running to buy. I bought it because, it's a major player. And if you're going to do Scotch taste challenges, you may as well buy all the big hitters, right? The heavy hitters. So, yeah, I got to buy Ballantine's from Chivas Brothers. That's another one of these companies got acquired. I mean, yeah, is Ballantine's super duper and great and terrific? I did a Dewar review with my friend David. He ended up liking it more than he had previously liked it, but we weren't sitting there talking about how awesome it was. It's similar to Dewar's. I mean, same type thing. Now this J&B is more pale. It's paler. It's a lot paler, and it has a little green tint to it. You say it's like Budweiser. Yeah. They use, what do they use? They say 42 different Scotch. Let's look at the English website. I mean, I could look up the Jamaican website, the Canadian website, the American website, the English website, the Scottish website. I mean, J&B's got like, who knows how many websites. Whatever came up first, I clicked on. It's the English. England. Introducing the whiskey that came to reinvent the whiskey world. I love all this hype, don't you? J&B is different from the rest. I paid $18.99 for my bottle, and I can get Dewar's for $18.99. But actually, if you get J&B, it's usually going to be about $22. J&B is different from the rest, specially crafted for mixing. Okay, now let's take this into account. Specially crafted for mixing with a flavor that makes any creative serve, which we call in the United States a cocktail. They're saying in England a serve. However imaginative and daring it might be, simply exceptional. I've never heard anybody in my whole life until this morning call a mixed drink a serve. But I'm not English, and I've never been to England. Inspired by an Italian, Justerini, created in London, distilled in Scotland, the J&B brand is the original result of blending 42 of the best whiskeys produced in Scotland. 42 of the best whiskeys. Now imagine that, 42 of the best whiskeys, and you can get it for only $18.99 a bottle or up to $22.99. Amazing, unbelievable. Yeah. These include great distilleries like Knockando, Riosk, and whatever else. Do they keep explaining? I don't understand this. A creation that defied whiskey conventions, which comes in and comes out as a unique style featuring a smooth, fruity taste that brings freshness to each and every one of our modern mixes and surprising flavors. Seems a little overboard, doesn't it? Well, what do we do know? Well, besides all the hype, whether it's some of the greatest whiskeys in the world and all that business, it is 42. It is a blend of 42 Scotch whiskeys, 39 of which are probably grain whiskeys and 3 of which are single malts. But I don't know that, but you know what I'm saying. All right, now Dewar's, our flagship blend, established itself as one of the leading blended Scotch whiskeys worldwide. That's true. Now they're claiming on the Dewar's website, did you know that Dewar's White Label is the whiskey of choice for highballs by the bartenders of Japan for unique smoothness and refreshing taste? This makes it the perfect accompaniment to food. So Jeep and Foodie Caleb, J&B for the underdog win. Well, I'm not sure if it's the underdog because let's think about it. They're both about the same price point, ranging from $18.99 to $22.99. Now, if you pay $22.99 for a regular bottle of Dewar's, I think you got ripped off. You should be able to find it for about $18 to $19. Now, if you get J&B for $18.99, hey, you did something because it's usually about 22 bucks. But we're talking about, let's say, at the low end, 18, at the high end, 23, a $5 range. So these are your standard premium Scotch whiskey prices. Okay. What do we notice about their websites? They both focus on one key feature. And what is that? Anyone? Their utility in making cocktails or highballs, or as they say on the English website, serves, which I've never before this morning heard that word before, serves. Well, you learn something new every day if you're open-minded. I never heard anybody call it a serve. I heard it called a mixed drink, a cocktail, and a highball, which is a specific type of cocktail, but apparently a cocktail is a specific type of mixed drink too. But what do I know from mixed drinks? But I never heard it called a serve. Anyway, they're not talking about how great these are as neat sippers. First thing they do on the website is direct you toward mixing them. That should tell you something. Tells me something. Okay. Got to close my eyes because of the difference, the disparity in appearance. J&B very pale and almost has a green tint to it. And the Dewar's is golden in a strong, deep burnished gold. Almost into the orange spectrum, but not quite. It's definitely amber. What does this smell like? Well, it smells like grain alcohol with a little peatiness. Is it fantastic? Why do you think it's fantastic for $20? Where were you born? This smells like even more grain alcohol and a little harsher, a little more bitey on the nose, and more than likely Dewar's. When I think of Dewar's, what do I think of? Cereal grain, a bite, a little bit of a not so smooth. Certainly not bad, certainly not low grade, certainly not terrible, but nothing exquisite that you'd be running to go buy. You're saying, in other words, a mixer. Yeah. You got it. J&B. It's just milder, mellow, paler, more demure, and there's more bread dough. There's more bread dough. There's more bread dough. Now, come on, you mix 42 whiskeys and all you got was this. That's all you got. Crown Royal. Crown Royal, the regular old flagship Crown Royal. Great product. It's okay. It's $22 to $23 a bottle. I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I don't even dislike it. I actually do like it. It's made with 50 different whiskeys. Oh, by golly. Now, you want to counterpoint me and say, wait a minute, time out. You talking trash. You don't know about blending whiskey. You can't hold a candle to the people that are blend masters. They can discern all kind of intricate aromas and tasting notes that you could never dream to discern unless you went through intricate and detailed training. Correct. I never claimed that I could. And secondly, I'm not a professional. And thirdly, I don't work for a distillery. And fourthly, I'm not a distillery master. Okay, I'm a consumer, so I don't need to be that comprehensive. But I agree. You're right. But there's not much point to that point because we're consumers. We're not creating the product. We're just buying them and tasting them. Tastes like bread dough with grain whiskey, backing it up. Is it that different from American blended whiskey? It's that different in the sense that American blended whiskey is usually a lot cheaper and more garish and more clunky and less refined and more like a bottle of sadness. Now, are there exceptions? Oh, yes. I can think of one right now that could go toe to toe with either one of these. Maybe it would win. Can't say. I don't cross style. I'm trying to make diamond. You know what I mean? I don't cross style. I'm not in Amway really, but I would not do a blended bourbon with a blended Scotch. You know what I'm saying? But Seagram 7 Crown can compete. Seagram 7 Crown is no joke. But a lot of the American blenders really kind of are a joke. And not a good joke. What about Beams 8-star? Beams 8-star is okay. Julius Kessler is okay. It's probably the second best. Talking about behind Seagram 7. But some of those, oh no, they could be very, very, very challenging. Of course, there isn't much risk factor considering you pay such a low price. The flavor here is kind of screwing me up. That's why I'm stalling for time. Anytime I start kind of going off track and trying to bring up like seemingly off topics, it's oftentimes a case that I'm stalling for time. I'm saying to myself, can't tell them apart. Better think of something. Like Frank told Tony about Sosa stalling. He says stalling. Okay, boss. I think I stalled enough. I think I got it now. I think this is the J&B. Now, it's not as differentiated as I thought. I thought, oh yeah, it's going to have smoke, it's going to have peat, it's going to really shine. But it isn't really doing that. Now, what have I said in the past? You could take whiskey A and go against B, C, D, E, and F, and it's going to taste different against each of those other ones. Why that is, I do not know. You could take whiskey A and you go against B, it'll taste smoky. You say, oh, look at the smoke. Look at the smoke. By the time you get to D, you say nothing but cereal grain. Now, I don't know why that is, but it's certainly the case that they gave me because I could tell it happens invariably. It happens invariably. It happens invariably. It happens invariably. Now, which of these two would I rather get? I think I'd rather get J&B because it's got more bread dough, and I like bread dough more than a bunch of cornbread. I like cornbread, but not as a distilled product. I like bread though. I wouldn't necessarily want that as a still product either though. But anyway, I guess the Dewar's is a little more rough edged. Got a little bit more rough edges. Like the edge of night. But it's got a little bit more does have a little bit more peatiness. Now, would I taste either one of these and talk about, oh, they're so peaty? No, I wouldn't. Would I taste either one of these and talk about the smokiness? I wouldn't talk about the smokiness because there isn't any. Makes sense. If you're looking for a smoky Scotch, forget it. These two don't do that. They will not do that. You could search all day and you might smell smoke and then you realize somebody is burning something down the street. You say, oh, that's the guy that's burning something. So if you're looking for peatiness, well, you might get a hint of it with Dewar's and you won't get a hint of it with J&B. But J&B, you'll get a hint of bread dough, which is telling me single malt, single malt, single malt. You see a lot of these single malt whiskeys like Speyside. That's an area of Scotland, merry old Scotland. They got that bread dough thing. Now, if it smells like smoke and tastes and smells like iodine and some kind of medicine, it's mostly Isla. That's funny to let people try that because they'll be so flabbergasted, you know. Oh, it tastes like medicine, man, and they'll be so done out. But then they'll get used to it, you know. After a while, they get used to it. Then that's all they want. It's like hot sauce, you know. They'd be so offended. But then the next time you meet up with them, you say, "Oh, what are you doing?" "I'm buying hot sauce." "Well, I thought you said it was too hot." And then they say, "I can't help myself. I need help. I'm addicted." I say, "Oh, you thought it was too hot." I really like the bread dough aspects of J&B. Do I love J&B? Well, I don't know if I love it. I certainly respect it, and I certainly like it, and I would recommend it. Would I pay $25 for it? No. Talking about today's money, today's fiat money. You say, what's fiat money? Well, think about it along the lines of monopoly money. Would I pay $22 for it? Probably. Would I pay $19 for it? Most likely I would. Would I pay $18.99 for it? A penny less. Yeah, I would because I bought it for $18.99. All right. Dewar's. Yeah, I would not be looking to pay too much for this. I'll be looking to get the cheapest price available, which is basically what I did until I found out I could have got it for $2 cheaper a handle. I didn't know. Now, is the 12-year age going to be a lot better? We would hope. 12-year age as opposed to no age statement. I have a whole unopened handle bottle of that 12-year age. When I tell you all the price, you're going to say I'm lying. You're going to say you're lying. Your whole channel is built on a pyramid of lies. Well, it ain't no lie. It's the truth. And if you're jealous, I'm sorry. I'll buy you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and split it with you because I'm going to tell you right now, it's the truth. And I'm unanimous in that. Okay, here we go with the reveal party. It's a boy. It's a girl. It self-identifies as a centipede. I don't know, but I'm going to say it's J&B. Ah, ha, ha. I got it right. Ah, ha, ha. I know you're getting jealous. No. All kidding aside, I said already that the J&B was going to be clearly identifiable as opposed to the Dewar's. Is it better? Yeah, it's better. Is it way better? No, it's not way better. It's a little bit better. Let's look at the comments. Smoky and light. I don't know about the smoky. I don't know about the smoky. I would say bread, though, and light. Hope J&B smashes Dewars to pieces in this taste challenge, says Kevin Johnson. Well, it didn't happen. It did lose, but it didn't smash it to pieces. I mean, it did win. Getting disoriented. It did win, but it didn't smash it to pieces. Burley Sullivan says, you. Kevin Johnson, will you be watching any of the NFL draft this weekend? Hopefully not. I can't stand watching the draft for the National Socialist Football League. Why is that? A, I'm not into recruiting and drafting. Half those guys turn out to be bombs. You know what I'm saying? They draft them. They do these long segments about, you know, Cornell grew up in a troubled home. I'm like, oh, that's a shock. With a single mother. And I'm like, well, that's a shock. After the Youth Challenge program, he turned his life around. And after a career at Burger Chef, being mentored by the White Shadow, you know, same old story, he started to achieve. And now he's the greatest running back with the greatest yards per average in the history of Bowling Green State University. And I'm like, okay, yada, yada, yada. He's so great. And then next thing you know, they bomb out. They don't even make it. They do nothing, you know. So I don't feed into that hype. But I'm not trying to sell magazines. All these people trying to sell magazines, you know. Draft, Watch, 24 and all this. Okay. What are your recommendations for affordable scotch that are enjoyably served neat? Well, these would, I guess, J&B. $22 a bottle. It's a good neat. It's not made for that. It's made for blending. I mean mixing. But it's good. You know, it's fine. I don't have too much left, and I ain't buying no more. But if you want a really good value, I'll say go with 100 Pipers. Is 100 Pipers as good as J&B? No, but it's $12 cheaper. So there you go. At least $10 cheaper. So I say get the 100 Pipers. That's the hidden jewel of Chivas Brothers. Why they don't promote it? They don't want you to know about it. So 100 Pipers, 100 Pipers, 100 Pipers. And if you can find Sir Malcolm, go with that one because it has a very interesting bread dough note. Yes. Those are two good ones. I predict Trevor Lawrence will go number 1. Maybe. But is he going to make it in the league? That's the thing. I don't get into the draft. I've seen too many of these players bomb out. And then it's the same story. Then these people that go number 7th round, that you never heard of, that went to Hofstra University, like Marcus Colston, goes to the Saints. Then they all-star in the Super Bowl. Now, you know as well as I do, ain't nobody around here in my neighborhood or yours is going to predict somebody from Hofstra was so low grade on Long Island, they got rid of football. You know, nobody's going to pick anybody from Hofstra to go to the NFL. That is my relationship with really spicy foods. It's painful at times, but I can't stop eating it. It's madness, and I need to seek help, says Kevin Johnson. No, you don't need to seek help. You could just, like, not put as much spice in it. Seagram 7 and 7 says monkey foots. Yeah, I never had 7 and 7, but I got a bottle of Seagram 7 crap. I'm looking forward to the Dewar's 12-year age review. I can't wait, y'all. But I have to go through my cycle, and I think Dewar's 12 year is going to really do great. You know, the white label's been kind of hit or miss. It's not that good. It kind of doesn't win too much. It's kind of knock around, easy target. People talk bad about it and all that. But the 12 year, it's going to be a whole different world. The Dewar's 12 year is not going to lose too many times. And it might shock the world a few times, including me, part of the world. So, yeah, I can't wait for the 12-year age. It's going to be a while before we get to it. But, yeah, that's why I hate to miss any days. when I was sick like a dog Tuesday morning. I said, "Oh, I'm so sick." I felt bad. I mean, I really felt bad. But what was the first thing in my head? I'm thinking, this is going to mess up my taste challenges. I'm going to fall behind. That's sad, huh? All right. Hello, Ron. Cheers. Cheers to you, Max Walt in the Russian Federation. Jamarcus Russell. There's your best comment. There's your best comment of why I do not waste my time watching a National Socialist Football League draft. Oh, I'll just lay in bed and watch Auburn baseball get beat to death by Georgia baseball. Will it be an interesting game? Not really. Will it be worthwhile to watch? Not particularly. Will it be way better than the NFL draft? Oh, it'll be way better than watching the NFL draft. Much better. All right. So, but I know what you're saying to me. If you don't watch the NFL draft, you can't watch all these former players with these loud plaid suits with tight leggings, tight legs, the pants be tight, loud suits with fake eyeglasses it's like they're wearing eyeglasses, but there's no lens in it. It's not prescription. They're trying to look fancy. I'm trying to look fancy. And got bow ties with butterflies and moths on there, and gold teethuses, looking all proper and fancy, and everything be sparkling. And you say you missing out on that. They pay a lot of money for the everything that be sparkling. I know, and I'm gonna miss out, and I'm not gonna mind it. Okay, but anyway. But I'm going to let y'all watch it. You can report back to me on how exciting the NFL draft is. And then in 5 years, we can talk about how horrible these players did over the years, most of them. Oh, me. All right, Jean-Pierre. You better have brought me that Country Club malt liquor new label. I best be getting that Country Club malt liquor new label. At least a bottle or can, but at least a can, because Jean-Pierre, the Beverage Ramble, he did a solo review revisit of Country Club malt liquor. I said, oh, a new label. I couldn't even find it on an image search on the internet. I felt so discombobulated. All right, so what is the final authority on this? Well, J&M Rare wins. No shock, because I predicted that all along. Now, what's coming up next? You want to see a real Tragic Kingdom? Gwen Stefani would have said, but you want to see a real Tragic Kingdom? Watch Dewar's White Label. I'm embarrassed to even say it. On Saturday morning versus Johnny Walker Blue Label. If you ever wanted to watch a beatdown, if you ever wanted to watch punks jump up to get beat down, watch Johnny Walker Blue Label versus Dewar's White Label. Now you might say that's not even fair. That's a mismatch. That's cuckoo-ness. It is really. It is a mismatch. And it's not really proper. But it is my brother-in-law, and I look on it as a personal favor if we could look at getting his job back. You know what I'm saying? I own him. I bought him. Why not taste challenge him? Hey, I didn't make the product. If it loses, it lose. And then I'm gonna do the Johnny Walker Red Label. Well, Johnny Walker Red Label. It's still gonna be Dewar's. Still gonna win. And then Cuddy Sark. Cuddy Sark. $14 a bottle. Dewar's is $19 a bottle. $5 difference. Cuddy Sark's gonna win. Remember that. For next week, Cuddy Sark is going to beat Dewar's White Label. You can call me on that. You know what I mean? You can take me to task on that. But remember, I said it here on Thursday, April 29th, 2021. Cuddy Sark is going to beat Dewar's White Label. I think Cuddy Sark is a better brand now. It's $5 cheaper. Brand Nubian. Burley. Brand Nubian. Let's all go back. Let's all take a trip back in time. My eye, why you shot me in the eye? You should have shot me in the body. So that's my story, G.